Workers' compensation lawyer in NY. Being injured at work can leave you and your family stressed with the extensive medical bills and the injured worker's reduced ability to work, if at all. In New York, laws are in place to make sure you are able to pay these bills, recover lost wages, and obtain disability benefits if returning to work isn't possible. Why you need a workman's compensation lawyer. Accidents and injuries can happen when you least expect them, particularly at work where you spend most of your day. The good news is that you are entitled to receive workers' compensation benefits and take time off to recuperate from workplace injuries. If you have been hurt in a workplace accident, it is important you hire a New York workers' compensation attorney as soon as possible. When you hire an attorney to represent your interests, you put yourself in the best position to succeed. Our NYC workers' compensation attorneys represent victims whose work-related injuries have interfered with their ability to work and require medical care. While there are laws that protect workers in this type of situation, hiring an experienced workers' compensation attorney in NYC ensures that you and your loved ones receive the compensation you are entitled to receive. New York laws are designed to make sure every worker injured or disabled through a workplace injury receives monetary compensation to alleviate the financial burdens imposed on them by this pain and suffering and to cover medical expenses. How to make a workers' compensation claim in New York. In New York, workers' compensation laws are in place to ensure that every worker who suffers an injury during the course of their work receives benefits to cover their losses both financially and medically. In order to make a claim under New York workers' compensation laws, the injuries must have occurred while on a job site or workplace, while off-site but while performing work-related duties, as a result of work-related tasks or operations, as a result of exposure to toxins or chemicals through the course of work. At L Sanchez Law Office, PC, our lawyers fight for the rights of injured workers in Queens and throughout the state of New York. Our lawyers offer comprehensive legal counsel for individuals who suffered a workplace injury. Our firm handles a wide range of workplace injury claims, including cases involving trauma to back, neck, shoulders, legs, knees and arms, sprains, strains, pulled muscles, torn or strained ligaments or tendons, fractures, injuries that require surgery. Under New York's workers' compensation laws, there are certain deadlines that must be met in order for an injured worker or the family of a worker who died as a result of their injuries to claim benefits. These deadlines are called statutes of limitations, and any time these deadlines are missed, they put your potential claim at risk. Always report your on-the-job injuries to your immediate supervisory as soon as possible after your accident. Workers must report their injuries within 30 days of the accident, according to New York law. Workers have up to 2 years to file a claim if an injury has caused other damage. New York law states that workers have up to 2 years to file a claim if they are suffering from a work-related illness or injury. For occupational hearing loss, workers have up to 3 months to report the injury and 90 days to file a workers' compensation claim. Contact an attorney for specific NYS workers' compensation statute of limitations. Available benefits under workers' compensation. The compensation benefits for workers in New York provide coverage for everyday expenses and medical bills. However, these benefits are not as extensive as awards made under traditional personal injury claims. It is not possible for workers to sue their employers when they are injured in the workplace. Instead, they must file a claim under workers' compensation law in order to recover their losses. These losses may include medical bills, lost wages, temporary payment of total disability benefits, temporary payment of partial disability benefits, permanent total or partial disability benefits, wrongful death benefits, Compensation for other losses including pain and suffering may be recovered if you can prove negligence on the part of a third party who could be sued for your injuries. What types of work injuries does workers' compensation cover? An employee's ability to recover lost wages is based on the extent of the disability that resulted from the work injury. Based on a doctor's medical evaluation, work injuries fall into one of four categories: temporary total disability, temporary partial disability, permanent total disability, permanent partial disability. Once the employee reaches maximum medical improvement, MMI, the severity of the disability is determined. What should I do if I get hurt on the job? Nobody expects to be hurt at work, and while most of us have heard of workers' compensation, a lot of us don't know what it is exactly and what needs to be done. When should I get a lawyer for worker compensation in Queens? Many top-rated firms work for their clients on a contingency fee basis, which means that attorneys' fees and other case-related expenses will only be due if we win your case. So, when you contact us and request a free evaluation, there is truly no obligation and you will pay us nothing unless you win. How does workmen's compensation work in the Bronx and New York? Workers who are injured on the job in New York have two responsibilities immediately after an on-the-job accident. The injured worker needs to obtain the necessary medical treatment. The employee needs to promptly notify his or her supervisor or manager about the accident. Your employer will then report the injury or illness to the state's Workers' Compensation Board, WCB, and the company's workers' compensation insurance carrier. By law, injured workers are required to file Form C3, Employees Claim for Compensation, with the board within 2 years from the date of the accident or from the date the medical condition was discovered to cause occupational disease. These deadlines are strictly enforced, and a mistake in filling out a single form can jeopardize a worker's ability to recover compensation. The number of weekly benefits you get to make up for lost wages will depend on how your disability is classified. Here's the formula that the New York State Workers' Compensation Board uses to calculate weekly workers' comp wages. 2/3 X average weekly wage X percent disability equals weekly benefit. Cash benefits do not pay for the first 7 working days following an injury. Additional to weekly wages replacement, you also have the right of having medical bills paid for injuries sustained in an accident. Prescription drugs for injuries and illnesses are also covered. In certain cases, mileage and any other transportation costs you incur to get to or from your medical appointment may be covered. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 646-701-7990. L Sanchez Law Office, PC is here to help the hardworking New Yorkers who sustain work-related injuries to fight for their rights. Call us today. We're the knowledgeable, fearless New York personal injury legal team you want on your side.